A recent report released by the U.S. Department of the Interior shows nearly 20,000 Native American children were put into federal Indian boarding schools from the early 1800s to the 1960s. Now, those numbers also show that nearly 1,000 of those children died in those schools. The department says there were 417 schools across the country, with 12 right here in North Dakota. KX News spoke to some relatives of survivors who say abuse was a form of punishment for speaking their native languages. KX News' Kiara Brown shows us why those relatives say preserving these native languages now is more important than ever.
Learning every day how to speak the language.
This is Alex Dakota and his son, Alexander. Both work every day at school and at home to speak their native language of Ojibwe as much as possible.
The culture, too.
Mm-hmm. Alexander is still learning Ojibwe, and his dad says speaking the language freely will preserve their culture for future generations while allowing them to heal from the past.
If we don't heal with our true culture and our true language, the Creator made us, then the same will continue to happen.
Alex's theory is if we teach the older kids, they'll teach the younger kids, and they'll be the models. So yes, the language is still there, and it is saving us in some ways or another.
Menam is the first in her family who didn't go to a boarding school. She says her grandparents were forced to do so, which they say forced them into Christianity, speaking English, and erasing their native culture. Those beliefs were then passed on to her.
Growing up, I was told it's not good. But, however, I've evolved into the person I am today, and I'm proud to say who I am today. And my grandparents weren't wrong, but they weren't right. They were, for lack of words, modified. You know, the objective of the boarding school was to kill the Indian to save the man.
Her grandparents told her that the boarding school tried to take away Native identity by cutting their hair, banning communication, and even more drastic measures. Menam tells the story of her Cree friend's boarding school experience.
She said, when I was kidnapped and taken to boarding school, or to residential school, in Canada, that's what they called them, she said, I was hungry, and I was thirsty, and I was cold, and I was scared. And the only way to communicate that was with my language. But I got beaten, and then I still didn't know how to communicate, but used my language, and then they stuck needles in my tongue.
That the people, the indigenous who are learning their culture and language are healing.
Currently, there are several indigenous languages being taught in schools on North Dakota's 5 reservations and colleges throughout our state, including an Ojibwe class at MSU. And both Menam and Dakota say they hope to see more to preserve their rich culture. In Minot, Kiara Brown, KX News.
Since the Interior Department findings in Native American boarding schools, the federal government has pledged to invest $23.3 billion back into Indigenous communities. That money will go toward programs like family reunification, language revitalization, as well as Indian education.